Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Welcome on in to the final round of Division 1. It is Season 7. And, well, it is my last commentary of Season 7 for Division 1 as well, of course. 5 whole seasons of commentary from SSRL from Season 3 to Season 7. Boy, there's been a lot to go through in those 5 seasons. But I will go through all of that in... more towards the end of the broadcast. A lot of emotions, as you can imagine. But let's have a look at this season. Well, we have been all over the world in the virtual world. We are now in the final round. It is the Mystery Grand Prix. So before we go through our standings, let's reveal where we are going to be racing this evening. This might be a bit messy, but I promise you I've done my best. There you go. So those are the choices on your right-hand side. Chatterino Batterino, get ready. 3, 2, 1, spin the wheel. What are we betting here tonight? Austria or Silverstone? We're off to Silverstone, baby. So we are going to the Great British Track of Silverstone. That requires no introduction at all. And, well, there you go. So there it is. It's all official now. Silverstone is your track of choice. And, of course, a wet racing coming. I'm sure he's saying that for a particular reason. It always rains in Britain, so what the hell. But anyway, let's go through your situation going into tonight. Well, Herman the German leads by 13 points after an amazing win in Miami. Rush the Siri down to second after the amazing start he had to this season. He is really on the back foot. We'll go through your championship situation in just a moment. Andy Andre still within the picture, but very much looking in from the outside. He's been in that position before, but at this monstrosity of a gap, 24 points to make up, he needs Herman to finish P15 or not finish at all. That is the only way he can try and win this championship, and then he's got to rely on Rush the Siri having a moment. Now, it's Bovesh, who was champion contender for the longest time, but that Las Vegas penalty certainly sealed the deal. Then Moksha in 5th. Then from 6th to 10th, it's Andrew, Energetic, Race Chase, Bards, and Mr. Router, Verstappen, Fellow Son, Quincy, Ryan Brooks, Tarkagino, Kavachka, Kwan, and Craig Jorg round out your full-time drivers. Your reserves being Danger David, Salvi, Vincenzo, Pleasant Snake, Rowley, Truckster, and Flip Nams Ram. Your constructors look like this. Well, Alpine, clear favourites tonight, 38 points ahead of the Tifosi team, while we have Aston Martin in 3rd. 4th and 5th is Mercedes and Red Bull in that order, and then it's Williams, McLaren, Kick Sauber, Racing Bulls and Haas. But you see, look at the constructors, there's so much to decide there. One team getting a good result can really flip things upside down. Let's have a look and see what happens tonight. We go into your race feed and we get ready for a single 18-minute session. It will be under the wet weather of Britain, of course, very traditionally so. But, of course, I think we need to introduce a certain special guest. Of course, he will be coming in to replace me for Season 8 in both Division 1 and Division 2. And, well, good friend of mine and also a respected champion in other leagues such as KLR and the Aero Racing League. Hope I got that right. It is none other than Captain Foxy. Welcome to your first race of SSRL. And, so I'm sure you are looking forward to taking over the reins once Season 8 begins.
Hello, everyone. Yes, I am very excited to see how this finale plays out with 3 drivers ready to take the crown tonight. Only one, of course, able to take it. And, well, I'm looking forward to how this qualifying and the race come to play. Thank you for having me here.
No problem at all. Of course, a champion in your own right as already. And in fact, those actually happened this season. And of course, we have wet weather in the Silverstone. So, of course, you've done your fair share of qualifying around Silverstone. What really makes the difference here in the wet? What have you got to kind of consider as the drivers go into tonight? 16 of them.
Well, with a wet session, it really depends on how the rear end gets thrown around these corners. It is really crucial to get the acceleration right, not to wheel spin too much out of the corners. You really need to keep that in front still stable enough to face the right way. But around Silverstone, it is more of a high downforce setup to be preferable. Now, the wet qualifying, the high downforce setup comes in even more strong, and with that, if there are some drivers taken again with a lower downforce setup, the straights are where the defense will have to come in quite to play. With the fast sweeping corners, that's where both of the setups will be on the same range, but the low speed corners is where the high downforce setups come fully in to shine, and really is the play usually around the great British track of Silverstone.
All right, thank you very much. Of course, more insights will come from Luca Cintorbi over the evening. And, well, I just kind of want to bring everybody up to speed in the championship picture, because right now, that is still to play for between 3 champions-elect. That is Andy Andre, who's already out on track, the Romanian driver, coming in tonight, a 5-time champion in a row, got 1 title in Division 2, but of course, that was before the divisions became pace-based. Now, he can still win the championship, but a bunch of circumstances have to go his way. He really has to win. There's not really much of a choice about it. He's got a 24-point deficit to Herman coming into tonight, and that's what he really needs to do. So Herman needs to be P15 or not finishing, and then he's got to hope that Rush Siri gets P4 or worse. If Herman wants to take the championship tonight, who is favourite, he needs P4 or better. Then it doesn't matter what else happens around him. Russ Siri, though, if he is to take the championship, needs to outscore Herman by 14 points or more, so that it doesn't come down to wins or anything like that. And, well, Rush Siri, in order to win, Herman would need to be P5 or worse for him to take the championship. So that's your picture going into tonight. But Foxy, even just hearing that, what I've got to tell you about this guy, Andy, as well, he has the most insane look. I have seen him go from the worst circumstances ever to making something magical. And there is a saying in SSRL, don't count out Andy at any point. He is 5-time champion in a row, 24 points to overcome. I promise you, if he wants to find a way, he will find a way. Now, just to remind you as well, retired in Singapore, that was back in round 2, and then got married. He's missed 3 races, and you're still looking at a 24-point gap and a potential to take the championship. That is insane stuff, isn't it?
It really is, and, well, to be said, he's champion either way. Being married is, I think, the highest thing to do in life. So, however tonight's race goes, in our hearts, Andy Andre is champion in here. But let's see if he can also bring it on track. You said yourself, luck is on Andy's side always, and as a fellow racer myself, I know that the first laps do not count you out, and fully the race does not count you out. It is really to be look forward to how the Mercedes driver will bring it on. And obviously, even if the odds aren't in his favor, he can still tip everything to bring it home. All comes down in the end of the qualifying session and the race, of course.
Okay, just a bit of a note. I think you just need to turn up your mic a little bit. You just sound a bit quiet on my end, so if you just can do something on your end, that would be very much appreciated. You wouldn't need to be too much, but it just sounds a bit quiet here. But otherwise, another thing to remember as well, like, you know, Andy is absolutely dominant in qualifying. I think he's got the most poles, despite even missing out most of the season. Well, I say 3 races of the season. So again, Andy just carries the most insane stats. Dominated season 5 and 6, and when finally competition came knocking at his door, well, Bavish was there for the longest time, but obviously a 63-second post-race penalty, which he earned in Las Vegas, hasn't helped his cause at all, and really his season's kind of gone on a downward spiral since then. So unfortunately for Bavish then, that kind of saw him out of Champions Elect, but I would say, look out for him next season. He's certainly one to watch out for if he can just get his racecraft cleaned up. Andy Andre first across the line, 1:44.726. And now we are waiting just for other times to come in. Herman not too far behind there. That's about, I mean, compared to where Andy's pace is, that's about where he wants to be. So that's not a bad time from Herman at all. And then Truckster says, well, thank you very much. I'll go and take the pole position there. And Truckster, well, actually, gotta say, he's my most improved for this season. Not only has he sorted out his 3-second penalties from a time long ago, he's also racing at the top, but his late race consistency is where it needs to be, where it needs to work out now, because he always makes these silly little mistakes and he could be one to look out for in Season 8 if he can just sort himself out. But now Bavish come across the line as well. He's top of the timing boards for the time being, but now we're just waiting for Rush the Series, finish this lap, and then we'll see where things stand with our 3 champions-elect, and Rush the Series, the slowest of them all. Just before we move on to anything, oh no, you go ahead, Luca.
Obviously, the banker lap is quite important to get a feel of the car in these wet conditions, because it really depends on the starter lap. When the track isn't really green yet, obviously the dry line will come as the laps go, and you need to get a feel just how the downforce plays. So with park firm you can't change much, so whatever laps you do now, you can only look to improve on your mistakes that you've done on your first lap.
Just a quick note to everybody here. Fellow Son is racing for the last time on the F1 game, and it is an absolute pleasure to be commentating over his final race. The Hungarian driver who tried to bring the pain to Andy in Season 5, but Andy was just a league above the rest without much of a play on words. But Fellow Son, a really, really charming character here that has treated us over the past few seasons. Bit of a moment there, but it is only a cool-down lap, so nothing to really worry about there. Fellow Son, thank you so much for being yourself. Thank you for driving in our league. And, of course, he feels that they're just better racing sims out there. So, to Fellow Son, thank you so much for everything, and it has been a pleasure commentating over you. Wishing you all the best in your final race and for whatever comes next. Thank you, man. And right now, we've got the next, I say the only Red Bull, but this is Fellow Son's teammate here, Bards, who I really hoped, I had on the cards. We saw a brief glimpse of him last season, was extremely quick, but has just not come to fruition. Coming into tonight, 9th place in the championship, 73 points. Still in the fight for potentially a 7th place with Energetic, but really no higher than that. So we'll see Bards go to pole position, and that's what I'm talking about. Bards does have the pace, but for some odd reason, it just hasn't come together for him this season. Maybe this one will be a bit more of a reconnaissance, and then Season 9 we'll see something, Season 8, beg your pardon, we'll see something a little more serious. But I'm kind of jealous that Luca gets to take over next season. He's got so much excitement here. We've got Andy Andre on the back foot this season. We know why, of course. But also you've got, Herman coming back into the fray as well. He could be taking his first championship since Season 1. And then you got Rush the Series as well. Of course, remember, Rush the Series and Herman have a bit of history. Remember, you might want to cast your minds all the way back to Season 3. That finale in Jeddah. There was contact between the two, which obviously gifted Andy the championship back then. And, continuing on, just to see the new talent as well. Luca, I am so jealous you get to take over from this next season.
And I'm glad to be taking over, seeing all the excitement going into next season and also going into tonight's finale. It really is just fun to be already around for tonight. It is absolutely a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. Truckster goes fastest there by nearly 0.4 of a second. And he is currently, proven to be the fastest round here. Of course, the British-based driver proving to be best of the rest, but there is still 8.5 minutes to go. Lucas, something I want to ask you. What is the track evolution like here when it goes from wet to dry? Well, from, let's say, wet to less wet, or when it's in the drives? What's kind of the difference between that? Can you sort of explain that from a driver's point of view?
So during the wet part of the qualifying sessions, at the start, obviously the dry line pretty much doesn't exist, being the first cars on the track to create really just a dry line. In this game, it is quite quick to create that line. Even just one car can bring just that little line we see already on the screen here, that racing line there. That is already enough for the wet compounds to have enough grip to already push the car around to this absolute potential, and the dry line only improves over the session. As long as the rain does stay this hard, it will probably stay for wets. Maybe we might see some tactical thoughts of intermediates, as something with this game that has been said even by esports drivers is that the intermediates at the start might suffer a little bit. Once you get the temperatures in, they can be on the pace of wets. Maybe some drivers will take that to their advantage, but it really can come only to play at the end of qualifying. Now we're currently in the mid half of it. The crossover point is pretty much still not yet to be seen, but that wet line is heaps different than already the left and right side of it, and it will only get better. And the temperatures with the wets need to be steady, need to be careful. You can do about 2 hot laps before the temperatures get to a spiking range, where around the end of the track, a lap as well around the track like this, through Vale, you might already start to see points where the grip won't be enough.
Sorry, I should have said this to you beforehand, but we do not change tyres from the full wets, so it's full wets throughout qualifying, and that's the tyre you got to stick on. So there won't be a crossover point necessarily, but you will see the times come down. So some of what Luca said still applies here, but the times will be just more going down. So just in case anyone is wondering about that. At the moment, though, Andy Andre was best of the rest there. He had a time of 1:42.2, and Trugster there with a 1:43.3. Goodness me, that was a second difference there. Now the drivers are starting to come and fill it out. Just to give you a bit of backstory for Quincy as well, this is mainly practice for tomorrow night. Of course, it won't be Silverstone. We might not be at for Division 2, but either way, just trying to get a reference point in. It's been a little bit since we've had a wet qualifying. Of course, we had one in Miami, but then we had a brief stint where we had a few dry qualifyings. Of course, we had the desert tracks like Qatar, so no rain on those kinds of circuits. So now it is just a kind of return to that silly season rule. Every season we love to put a little quirk in here, and yeah, no, we seem to enjoy it. It is in the name, guys. Silly Season Racing League. But at the moment now, one of the champions elect for tomorrow night, going in under 5, well, with 5 points to spare to the leader, Pleasant Snake, who is not with us tonight as he isn't available on Mondays. Energetic now is really going to hone his way in, but I highly doubt we'll get Silverstone tomorrow. But at the moment, yeah, just trying to get his reference points in for this wet qualifying and just gain that bit, well, more of a mindset, if we're being honest, to go into tomorrow night. And that's kind of how it kind of is. You got to be in the right mindset, because you, Luca, you did 2 leagues, right? I think one of them was called Aero. You did that on the Tuesday nights when that was running, and then of course you went into KLR the very next night. And how critical was that night before?
I have to say, that night, that race before, even if it was on a different track, that is crucial information, the crucial momentum that you can carry on to the next night, because you also learn just how different it is from practicing with offline with the AI. They can only give you so much data. It really helps so much more to just have real drivers around you, and just the conditions do change, weirdly enough, in the game. Between offline and online, sometimes the tire wear and just the way the car behaves does slightly change. I've noticed that, and so always having like a pre-race the day before with drivers in the league is always crucial. And I gotta say that gifted me a lot of information that helped me gain an advantage to the competitors that I have in KLR.
I do want to ask more questions about that, but we have got a 4-minute window here, and Energetic, oh, mistake there, as he goes out of Luffield through to Woodcote, so sadly this lap won't be representative. There's a Williams behind him. That's Quincy in 3rd position there. I'm really surprised to see him up there, because there is a rumour at the moment that the top 5 in Division 2 are going to Division 1, and Quincy within that top 5 as well with Energetic, so this is also good practice for Energetic for, like, you know, the next season. We'll see how he does tonight, though, as a first reference, but of course has been competitive in the past here. This is not his first season with SSRL by any means of the stretch. Certainly has had a few seasons with us, but really now it's only this season where we've started seeing consistency, competitiveness, and a lot of pace. But also another driver I want to shout out, this guy right here, Race Chase, one of my most improved as well. The American driver has been going from strength to strength, from week to week. I cannot sing his praises enough. He's just going on to a flying lap now, but has looked competitive in Division 2, and now is finally getting his way into Division 1 and really starting to break in to matching the pace of those around him. It's just a race where it just falls apart a little bit for him. Maybe just a few decisions in a split second here and there to do with strategy. And then, of course, just a few mistakes here and there. But otherwise, he's got what it takes. As now we're going to go on board for a flying lap. Luca, let's go for a flying lap round Silverstone.
So as we approach turn 16, here hard on the brakes, it's really crucial to get that inside curb there correctly, to not go too wide, but now you need the momentum throughout turn 7. It is really crucial to get the power down just about, but not wide enough. Couldn't use all of the track. Now towards Cops we go. It is not flat in the wet, you need to slightly lift, you can use a bit on the curb on the outside, but careful to not go over the white line. Now through Maggots and Beckett's, here's a lot of time to be gained. You can half cut these corners, but it looks like just a little understeer here, but there's a Martin, but gets a good momentum out of Beckett's then. So, hard on the accelerator, no DS again as it's wet, but it was crucial to use all of the battery that's left in the car. You can only charge so much throughout the lap here, and now through turns 15, right-hander, careful not go too wide, easy to invalidate the lap, that looks just about right. And now through Vale, the difficult to chicane here, as you can go wide and ruin your entry here on the right-hander, but it looks to be a good entry, but it looks to be a bit sketchy on the traction there, had to counters there, and it did look good enough for P2, provisional P2, but 142.342.
Goosebumps. Just goosebumps. Luca is a master at flying laps. You have that to look forward to when he comes and takes the reins over. We're now going to look at Quincy here as we go and follow him. But Andy Andre is still top of the timing boards. Herman still not too far away. In comparison to where you want to be with Andy, race chase in the most preferable position. But you got to think as well, Andy on a flying lap. But here we go, 40 seconds now. It is do or die. We need to see who is going to be one of the first across the line. There is the Mercedes of Trunkster coming to the line. He's improving, so this will be his final flying lap. He's going to go from 10th, 143.3. Can he get to his teammate? He could go fastest of them all. It's a 141.983. And now Russell Siri on an out lap, but he is going to be one of the last ones across the line, but really needs to hurry up or else he might not get the lap in. But there's more than ample time. He gets the foot down now. Got to be careful in those wet conditions. And now there we go. He is safe and he will be able to complete this lap. And he was the only driver I could see who was on an out lap there towards the end of that session. So I think Russell Siri has timed this more than perfectly. There we go. Session is now over. So if you're on a flying lap, this is your last opportunity. Andy isn't improving. He is not improving compared to his personal best. Remember, the delta on the top right only compares to the driver's personal best, not the overall session best. Andy going through club right now. Final time for him in qualifying. And he's done it! He's actually gone and done it, but it is not over yet. Just give it a moment. Herman has invalidated. He can't improve. So who is coming to the line next? It's one of the Williams. It must be Quincy. It indeed is. The admin of the league, the creator of this league, who has given me such a fantastic opportunity and so many fun memories here, is now going to come to the line for the second to last time in Season 8. And he goes pole as well. Season 7, beg your pardon, 141.5. And now there's more drivers to come. It may not be over just yet. Verstappen is next. 4th place for him. There's, of course, the Mercedes will be next, but we know where they've ended. There's the Italian of Salvi, but where is Moksha? He will be next across the line. One of the Mercedes into the pits. We know where they stand, but now the McLaren is next from 14th. Moksha struggles in qualifying with Div 1. He talked about how top 10 was such out of reach. He's improved to 11th, so that's a good stepping stone for him. I think Salvi had a brief mistake, but no, he continues on into the top 10, so there is a yellow flag there. Rush the Siri, an all-important lap for him, but I don't think he's done enough. He's going to go to the line. 8th place. He's in front of Herman, but that is not where I expected those two to be. That is quite a shock. And somebody else just completed the lap. Verstappen to 5th there, but that was Sir Ivo coming to the line, and he's, of course, where we were used to seeing him, right at the back of the field, and that is 15th place for the Haas driver there. But Luca, a couple of shocks in there. The champions elect, in fact, most of them, not even in the top 5. They've got work to do.
This is just about in the middle space where Herman wants himself. Andy still did everything in his power, every odds tilted to him, but he couldn't get the pole position, so he says a bit to fight. Because of Russian series qualifying, He needs to put himself up to P5, but it is possible. But Herman, really tough here. P4 hits what he needs to aim for, but can he do it? It is difficult on a track like this. The strategy is all over the place. I can tell you here, Silverstone has it completely in different books, depending on how drivers do take it. It is all over the place for the strategy.
We'll wait and see what happens, but of course we might be switching on to a dry race. Let's just stay with it and see how the conditions look as we now enter. And it's overcast there, so that is very British indeed. Well, me and Luca are just going to take a very, very quick break. We will be right back with you in a few minutes' time. The underway time, let's see if we've been announced that in the announcements. We indeed have. It will be in 5 minutes' time. Me and Luca are just going to go away for a bit, but don't go anywhere. There is still racing to come, and it is, of course, a championship finale between 3 drivers, Herman the German, Andy Andre, and Rush Nasiri. Don't go anywhere. It's going to be exciting. Welcome back, everybody. We've got a follow there from Bogteg. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome on into the last broadcast of SSRL Division 1, and of course Season 8, and this will be my final one for the division before our great co-commentator for tonight here, Captain Foxy, also known as Luca Gendorbi, will be taking over the reins going into the new year, and he has seen a lot of exciting action and a bit of a shock there. Rush the Siri and Herman not qualifying as high as they would have wanted, but at the moment Rush the Siri and Herman are together. We will run through your order just one more time tonight. Let's kick in that music and let's go for the final formation lap in Division 1. Quincy was able to take the pole position there as he, gets everything underway. Then it's Bards in P2, all on medium tyres, bar one, fellow son that is, in his final race. Third is Andy Andre. Well, he's done at least one thing right. He needs a bit more bad luck to go the way of Herman and Rush the Siri, but he is unlikely to get ahead if things stay as they are of Rush the Siri, but Herman still doing enough. Drugster, his teammate, could really be a helping hand here in fourth position. Verstappen qualifying in the top 5. Great one from him. Bavish in 6th place here, was champions elect, but now reconning for next season. He starts 6th place. Mr. Router in 7th. Race Chase going from strength to strength. Another top 10 qualifying for him. He starts 8th. Rush the Series, one of the 3 champions elect, not where he wants to be at all. He'll start P9. P10 for Herman the German. This is enough. If he stays within arm's length of Rush the Siri, this is enough for the championship, so he will want to be focusing on the Ferrari in front. He starts P10. 11th is Salvi, one of the reserves tonight, and of course fellow son, as we just said, in his last ever race on F125, starts 12th. Moksha in 13th. 14th is Tarkin Gino, Sir Ibo 15th, and Energetic starting all the way from the back, but of course he has a championship to worry about for tomorrow. He will be with us again in 24 hours time. But as we now go to the grid, what are the last things a driver does as they get to the start finish line, Luca?
Obviously they need to check the battery, usually set it to none for the lap here on the formation lap with them just before the lineup, go on normal, but also to worry about the strategy to see what are they going to bring. Obviously it looks to be medium tires for now for a few drivers. It is said to be looking for maybe a 2-stop strategy, a 1-stop definitely is possible if we can keep that tire wear in a comfortable window. Obviously, I've managed to do it myself, but with a lot of information beforehand. But it all comes down on just how the race goes.
Energetic is lined up, so all 16 drivers are ready to go. 3 champions are going to be here, but it can only be one. Let's see what happens. The countdown begins now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. We are underway for the final time in Season 7, and that is a good start there from Quincy. He gets away well, but Andy Andre really needs to make progress sooner rather than later. Around the outside of Turn 1, there's a little King Saba who goes wide, but already Andy Andre is up into 2nd place. Barnes there wants that podium. He's already alongside Andy's teammate, but now Andy is doing what he needs to do again, and look has got his way. Herman's still P10, Rush the Series still P9. Basically not really any movement apart from Bavish and Andy Andre there. It's a 5th. Moksha swapping with his teammate for 12th. And there's Bavish there trying to go down the inside of the Red Bull. No success there. Rush the Siri and Herman, though, having a fight here. 2 your championships elect go side by side into Lovefield, and now through Woodcote. They're going to go side by side down the old start finish straight, and now who will come out? Here we go, Cops Corner. It's going to be, it is, and it's not going to be, it's Herman. Now it's a P9 there, as that was, well, a getaway for the ages, but Andy doing what he needs to do right off the start, Luca.
What has he done into turn 1? The confidence to go round the outside there, with the temperature still going up to a potential good window. That was incredible, the 2 Mercedes. That Red Bull did not see that coming, I can tell you that much.
And here we go now. We're going to complete lap 1, and Quincy will be leading this race, but for how long, really, Andy? is just going to be, honestly, thinking about his moves. It's only a matter of time when you know this driver for as long as I have. It is surely now going to not be too much longer. Of course, DRS now enabled, but it's not going to be activated in the first zone. We'll have to wait until we are down the Hanger Straight. Wellington Straight to come up first, but here we go. Let's have a look at how Andy, well, if Andy decides to make a move, he would benefit waiting until the Hanger Straight potentially, but he is usually faster than Quincy, but DRS is activated at that point. So here we go. Let's see if he makes a move. Not really close enough to do so, but as we all know, nobody on the soft tyres at the start of this race, and well, it's going to be more of a medium, well, potentially 2-stop or 1-stop. Of course, Luca talked about how you have to keep those tyres in temperature and make them go long on this stint so that you can, of course, exchange onto the hards later on in the stint. But as of right now, Luca, what do you think the pit stops are going to be depending on how the strategies go out?
Depending on a 2-stop strategy around lap 8, we can already see a few drivers looking to jump into the pit lane. For a 1-stop, we need to be around lap 11 to lap 12, depending on how confident you want to be on the hard compounds. For the second stint, obviously the mandatory tires are the medium and hard for tonight's race, so you need to have both compounds for today's race. But for a 2-stop, it will be a medium, hard, medium / medium, medium, hard, or for the 1-stop, lap 11 to 12 for medium to hard.
Here we go as we go on to lap 3 out of 26. Andy Andre is getting close. He sets the fastest lap of the race. There's an extra point going his way. That is oh so important for him, so he can take the total of 27 points. We are used to this, in all honesty. It is no surprise, in all honesty. But, you know, what is a surprise is coming into tonight a 24-point gap. Bit of a moment there as he goes through the loop now into Aintree, which, of course, last held the British Grand Prix all the way back in 1962. 0.6 of a second from him to Quincy. Not close enough there going into Brooklands. But of course, keeping an update on all your other champions elect. Well, Herman and Rush Siri really haven't gone much of anywhere. Long DRS train, and I just wonder if this is really playing into Andy's hands more than anybody else's. Andy is comfortable there. He knows he's not going to get a fight from his teammate. But the one thing Andy will need to be concerned about is Trugster's late race consistency. We talked about it in qualifying, and at the moment, it's so far going A-OK here, but just keep an eye out on him. He is prone to late mistakes in his stints. But, you know, there's just so much to talk about here. Luca, I expect this first stint to be absolutely tense, but then once we start to get into the final laps here, it's going to get tense there. But Andy Andre decided not to make a move. What do you think the play is here from Andy? He's been in this championship position 5 times already, and, well, he's just trying to... Do you think he's just trying to wait for his time and then go, or what do you think the play is here?
It really depends on what Andy Andre just started on the strategy. He could stay behind on Quincy just to recharge battery, stay behind the DS, but also don't go for over-aggressive moves. We already saw last lap round here through the loop that Andy lost the rear end just a little bit. Those slides, those little slides, they cost 2 to 3%, which are incredibly important to gain if you are going for the one-stop strategy. If you are behind and know that the dirty air isn't too much of an effect, Andy Andre is smart to play behind Quincy, but if he knows that he's faster and can still manage the tires, it is a good opportunity to go past. And then look how aggressive he is. He is definitely looking to maybe go past and to conserve the tires. Still to have to look out that Quincy doesn't try it on him back.
Andy Andre is oh so close now. He's much closer than he was before, and look at how much battery he has there. That yellow bar signifies it. Look how close he gets through Maggins and Beckett. Suribo with a 3-second penalty for track limit violations. There was a swap earlier on. That was for 14th place between Tarcangino and Salvi. But here we go. This might be the swap. That means everything in the championship. He's getting closer. It's going to be side by side going through Stowe Corner. Quincy fights aggressively. Andy a bit wide there, missing the apex. And here we go. Quincy will have the inside going into the next corner. He defends for now, but there's Bards getting through on Trugster as well. And now Andy, as soon as we say that, is out down the inside there through the final corner. Goodness me! Onto lap 5 out of 26 we go. And, well, it's still Quincy leading by sheer stubbornness. And now we're going to go through to the loop in a few moments' time. Quincy still defends that inside line. And now we're going to take it to the next DRS zone, Luca, with Andy still behind Quincy. But there is Bards in the background.
That is some unbelievably clean racing there, but this is absolutely not going into the driver's tires hands at all. But there we go, Andy is past with the DS. He just needs to look to keep Quincy behind. He is a good place to charge the battery. You see that blinking, that means they put it on none. They need to be careful. The dirty end now goes to Andy with Quincy's behind, struggling a little. But oh dearie me, those are championship rivals that we're duking it on. Herman needs to be careful not to drop a few more positions.
Absolutely. Remember, if he's P15 and then Andy wins, he's got the championship. He's already ahead of Rush the Series. Remember, Rush the Series needs P4 or worse for that to be champion. But wait a minute, we've had a moment. Babish with a mistake there, and he's rejoined into Race Chase. Bit of contact between the two as we go out through Chapel Curve. Remember, Babish is not afraid to get scrappy. Both shake down the straight in disapproval. Rush the Series now just needs to be a little careful, as now there's a swap between Energetic and Moksha there. So Energetic through. Bit of battling as well still going on. We have the Hass of Sir Ibo causing a yellow flag as well. All sorts of action just kicks off. As soon as Andy makes a move, so does everybody else. And now Fellow Son and Rush the Series side by side into the next corner. There's Babish ahead. How does Fellow Son do that? Remember, last race, everything is up for grabs here. Fellow Son was the only one to start on the hard tyres. Are they coming into effect, Luca, now?
The crossover point is around the 6 to lap 8 mark. As said, that's also where the medium compounds are set to do the first stop for the 2-stop. There should be around the 30 to 40% tire wear mark, which is already where you feel the drop off. Obviously, the hard compounds are still in a comfortable zone now. It really is looking to go into the Red Bull hands. As you see another overtake opportunity there, and he does go for it. Absolutely incredible. The traction on the outside. Can he keep her running? That is absolutely important to go through. But he also needs to be careful not to use his tires too much if he also is going for the one-stop strategy. Oh, that is not what he wants. That is not going into his hands. And so, well, the medium and hard compounds are pretty much on the same level if that's how hard he is pushing those tires.
Babish gets a 3-second penalty and a mistake through the Baggett's and that really is a summary of his season, if that is one picture to say it all. But there's Herman under pressure from Energetic 6 there, beg your pardon for my TV direction, and now Herman has to defend from an unlikely challenger, and Energetic is past. It's going from bad to worse for Herman at the moment in terms of championship play. It's still his championship to win, but of course I do have the points, both me and Luca do, so if anything changes at a moment's notice, we will let you know. But otherwise, Herman is still safe for now. Rush the Series in P8 scores 8 points. He needs to do more. Remember, Rush the Series had a 13-point gap going into tonight. So if Herman does finish P11, that is only a 3-point gain, not enough for Rush the Series. So no immediate panic at the moment for Herman, but not a good start to the race, and his confidence isn't going to be helped by any of this. As now we look at the battle for second place here. Quincy has been dropped by Andy, and there we go. Andy has flown off into the distance. Romanian airline here, and he is nowhere to be seen. He is a higher above everybody else. Remember, coming into this season, 5-time world champion in a row. And, well, he is certainly proving why he is that. And now, nearly 3 seconds just in a matter of laps. Here's Bards here, going to go into DRS. And he is going to get ready to make a move on Quincy. Trugster has been dropped, but if I'm being honest here, Trugster has done what he needed to do. There's not really much more he can do unless he wants to hold up Rush the Series. But Rush the Series and Trugster, usually, I don't know really. I think they are usually even, but it has been a while since I've seen those two battle it out. We'll just have to wait and see. But either way, two of the champions elect underperforming tonight. And well, you know, Luca, what do you think of Andy's pace just by looking at these first 8 laps? It's insane, isn't it?
Andy is right in the zone. He is one of the cars, people say, in that zone. And absolutely now nothing gives him pressure. He's just driving that Mercedes to perfection, and this is absolutely going all in his hands. The luck, as you said, again goes into his favor, but this is not just luck, this is also his own performance coming to play now. Silverstone does seem to be just his playground here, and everyone is just a toy for him.
I must say, everywhere is his playground. I just want to let everybody know, no one has practiced for this. Please remember that this is the Mystery Grand Prix. We did not announce the track until 2 minutes to go. That is just how insane the Romanian driver is, and he has just ran away with it again. He doesn't need practice. He can just turn up and just get 3.5 seconds. Of course, this does apply to everybody, so let's just make sure fair is fair. But that's just how he is, and that's how he's been all season. It has just been amazing to watch him over the time I've commentated over this league. And, well, at the moment, Herman is still on to take his second championship in, well, since Season 1. It's been a long time coming for him. That's had circumstances outside the league, which meant, like, you know, he had to take a break from it all. But he's come back here with a purpose. But this final round, it may not be pretty, but it is where he needs to be right now. But just doesn't want to drop to 15th place, because that's when the danger will start. As also Andy has the fastest lap of the race. So we'll see how the kit continues to go on. But who's been your driver at the moment in these first 9 laps to watch out for, if we just go away from Andy for a few seconds?
It is pretty much a Russian Asiri currently, who worked himself up one position already, which is incredibly well done already. And a track like this, where with the DS zone and the DS trains, it's quite tough to get past, as the dirty air is quite intense. And obviously, as we said, no practice. You really, this all just in the first laps come together. But one driver that I'm looking at is Herman. He seems to just not go anything to his side. And absolutely not spectacular. As Ice just set in the Russian Series, already under pressure by the Red Bull of Fellhausen. The fellow son, pardon me, also absolutely driver to look out for. P12 up to P8. He is going out with a bang, as pretty much what we love to see.
Absolutely. Just in case if you have just joined us for the first time, this is, of course, Fellow Son's final race ever on F1 25. After several seasons with SSRL, he is moving on to more, well, better games that represent racing that feel better for him. So, of course, we wish him all the best here. But otherwise, Fellow Son is having an excellent final race so far. Started 12th, making his way up into 8th place. It has been a Grand Prix to love so far for the Red Bull driver. But as of right now, in terms of Herman as well, of course, as Luca said just earlier on, here we go. Pit lane has begun. Luca, what's the strategy?
That seems to be already a 2-stop radio for Russian Series and Energetic. That is just a little too early for a 1-stop. The hard compounds, if they manage to bring that absolutely down the tire wear to nowhere, then it can be just possible. Or they are looking for a safety car. That is absolutely also part of the strategy to look forward. But a 1-stop is pretty much not expected from these drivers who are in now. That is just as late for a 2-stop as could be.
Brilliant. Right, well, great information there from Luca. So 2-stop for these drivers now that you are seeing on your screen. All, of course, in the pits on the left-hand side there on your graphic. You can see their tyres as well. Hard tyres for them. Babish, of course, forced into the pits because of damage. And now, oh, goodness me, if you're Herman, you're a little bit worried there. 14th place there. It's not where he would have wanted to have been going into the evening's proceedings. Well, at least, well, he can hope for other drivers pitting, but now it's so important because, Luca, I think you can relate to this. Any mistake now, your championship and your race could be absolutely ruined.
Herman absolutely needs to bring those hard compounds to the absolute limit. He is looking for a 2-stop, and Arne just confirmed it, being also someone who I follow closely with strategy. It is very much that Herman has to push these tires to the brink of failure even. Being down in P14, he looked to be he's been held up in the pit lane by Moksha and Babish, which is not something you would like to see as your championship rival. One driver that we said was nearly out of contention, currently absolutely in contention right now, Andy Andre. He is going absolutely careful there in P1, 6 seconds ahead, and he's still going strong. Herman really needs to look that his strategy works, but if the drivers who in front who haven't pitted go for a 2-stop strategy, 1-stop strategy, Herman needs to go as strong as he can to minimize that pit stop difference of the second stop.
Fellow Son and Race Chase begin to swap positions. Of course, these two haven't pitted just yet, but look at how Fellow Son gains on those now better hard tyres. Of course, the crossover point was reached. Luca predicted, well, even from experience, said lap 6 to 8, and now we are beyond that. So the hard tyres are the preferable tyre. Fellow Son was the only driver to start on them, and he is being massively rewarded so far. just might, well, he can't really continue to be ahead of the guys that have just pitted. We've just also, well, cutting away from that for 2 seconds. The battle for 13th goes to Herman. He's got past Moksha. Moksha, of course, was one of the ones who stopped in that, and now Herman has found a way past, so a little less pressure on him, but now Bavish not too far behind, and I think just recovering from a mistake, because that was a 2-second gap that just went down to half a second and in the click of a finger. So a lot happening here as of right now, but here we go. Now we are seeing pit stops again from a couple of other drivers here. So that is Mr. Welter. And I think Race Chase was in all of that, was he? No, he was not. So that is Quincy, Verstappen, and Welter into the pit lane. They should be onto hard tyres. And what's the play here? Is it a 2-stop or a 1-stop from here, Luca?
That is still just in the 2-stop range for the guys who just pitted. About now on lap 12, this is now a 1-stop strategy for all the medium drivers of the 4. Currently are out Andy, Truckster, Race Chase, and Tarkin. Obviously, I'm not counting Fellow Sun because he started on the hard compounds. It is absolutely crucial that Fellow Sun brings these hard compounds around lap 16, if I'm not mistaken. But you do remind me that, David, if Rush the Series is where he currently is he still in contention against Herman?
Against Herman, no. So whatever, well, that's because if he win, well, let's have a look at the points there as I have an absolute tongue twister of a moment. Shut up. Let's just find out. So P7 at the moment, so that's 9 points. So with Herman being in 13th, yeah, no, not enough at all. That's only a 6-point deficit. So, well, 6-point gain, beg your pardon. So 13 points to 6, 7. No, not enough at the moment, but Herman definitely struggling now. Yeah, no, if you're a Herman fan, it's time to be concerned. As now Andy into the pits, Luca.
That is now for the 1-stop strategy that Anna confirmed it. Starting from lap 10 to 11, that is it now. And yeah, as you see, everyone on the medium compounds is in. There's one driver still out. Is that fellow Sun, pardon me, I keep saying that, is out on a medium, but I think there's still one more medium compound out. No, that's Tark and Gino now in as well. So now fellow Sun on the medium hard compounds, he needs to bring these to around a lap 16 window to bring the mediums home. That's 10 laps there on the medium compounds. 15 to 16 is for him, his pit winner for 1-stop. Looks to be pretty much possible. Andy Andre comes out in second place. No competition there. Rush the Series. That is currently in provisional P3, but of course still has one more stop behind him, while Andy Andre obviously does not. So now it really comes down to the current 2-stop drivers on the hard compounds. They are all out. They can push these to the absolute brink on the limit with no more behind there. But now the ones who are on the new hard compounds, they need to watch out a little bit because from now on, going to the end, it is very crucial for them.
Bit of an update for you with permanent P9 now and Russia Series P3. Still not enough at the moment, but of course we are waiting for that pit stop from fellow Sun. So if Russia Series goes to P2 and stays there, and well, I don't think Herman is going to get that chance to really overtake fellow Sun while he's in the pits. He's too far back. Well, guess what? Guess who comes into contention for the championship? Rush Nasiri. Yes, Rush Nasiri, despite being the driver on the back foot going into tonight and Herman being the clear favourite, well, the clear favourite has suffered a little bit at this early point, but now we have, just to remind you of Herman's qualifying record to race. Well, when Herman has had a bad qualifying, he's usually found a way to bring it up to the front of the field, maybe around top 5. So maybe this stint is where it's all going to be for Herman. Maybe he accepted that this first stint was just going to be a bit of a loss and he was going to have to carry some pain towards the end of that first stint as well. Remember, he came out of the pits P14, now P9, so the pressure is somewhat lifted. He can just continue what he's doing for now, but he's going to have to eagerly await what fellow Sun's pit stop is going to be and where that brings him out, because that will mean everything. And so pressure on the German. He needs to start making progress up the field to make sure this is safe. At the moment, fellow Sun is going to be going on for a very long time. Luca, when do you expect fellow Sun to be pitting in on those hards as we see Bards and Quincy go side by side? So let's get that out the way first, and then we'll come back to that. But here we go, Bards down the old start-finish straight, side by side with the league owner Quincy, and that's Quincy having to slot him behind for now. The kick Sauber behind has a bit of dirty air, and well, now here we go, Luca. When is fellow Sun pitting in your eyes?
fellow Sun has about 1 to 2 more laps to do on those tires. Of course, lap 15, if we think about it, end of lap 15 comes out lap 16 has 10 laps on the mediums. We saw that it's possible by the drives, and of course less fuel on the car makes the car lighter, which also decreases the tire wear. Of course, if he goes for lap 16, he is absolutely safe to bring those mediums home. Something that I'm gonna have to add on to is that the medium compounds are a bit less favorable in a race like this because of the temperatures following behind. The hard compounds can hold on to it quite nicely, but the medium compounds, once you overheat them, it is quite tough to bring them back to a comfortable window and decrease the tire wear. It is absolutely crucial that once the mediums go back on the cars that we see for the two-stop, they need to keep the temperatures in that absolute crucial window to bring it back into a safe drive. As once the tires overheat, there's an issue there by Server. Once the tires overheat, the traction decreases massively.
So just to let you know there, Lucas, Sir Ibo gives a generous amount of room there when he gets lapped. He goes all the way off the track, so that's nothing to worry about there. That's not a moment. He's just being rather nice to everybody. And now Drugster and Russia Syria have just swapped for what is P12 there on your board. So at the moment, of course, Babish, well, as we said earlier on, after a 63-second post-race penalty, which he got for making contact and actually knocking out Russia Syria from that race, which is what brought Andy back into all of this after he got P3 from all of that contact. It's just been a really bad second half from Babish, so really doing reconnaissance for the next season. But here we go, Babish is now about to attack Drugster again, and let's see what he can do. Not close enough, really, in all honesty. But here we are, fellow Sun in the pits, Luca.
Fellow Sun is in now. Now come the medium compounds, absolutely crucial. This is the part where the Red Bull will be currently the fastest car on track, being on the only car now, of course, with this offset at the start, will be now the softer compound. Won't be for long, as around lap 18 to 19, I expect to see the second stop for the mediums. Obviously around 19, even 20. That's I think the latest before you lose too much traction on the hard compounds. But I also want to put a eye on Truckster. He got held up by his teammate at during the first stop. That's why he is so far down. Sadly, of course, being two teammates going on the same lap, that sadly does happen. If you're lucky, you manage to get the two-stop down, but the double stack down. But this time it did not work out for the second Mercedes.
And there was fellow Sun already making moves there into P11. Goes the Hungarian driver, and that's given a shot to Truckster here to try and get past. He's surely not going to try it through Cops, is he? No, he does not. He stays behind for now, but does ride that grass oh so carefully. You don't want to do that too much. That can really ruin your traction as you go through the next corner. But there you go. Lucas said he would be the fastest car on track. He's already got past 2. And well, for Herman, this is starting to become worrying signs. He would go down to P9 as things stand right now. Well, if that continues on, so he now needs to really get past Mr. Router in that Racing Bulls. I just wonder how Herman has set up that car. He has not really been able to get past anybody. And Rush the Siri, well, thanks to his undercut, now looking at P2. And, well, let's update you on that championship, shall we? This is 13 points, and that, I don't quite know where that would land. You'll have to let me get back to you on that one, because I'll need to just see who's won what over the season. So we'll wait and see. But otherwise, we will always ask Quincy, who is the admin of the league. He will certainly come into the comms box, and we will certainly have a quick word with him, because obviously a few emotional things to get through here as we are in the final 10 laps of this Grand Prix. There are still storylines to be decided. There is still a championship to be decided. It's not going to be over until the checkered flag has waved, and I think this is going to be a classic either way. There is still one final twist in the tail, but where is it going to come from? Fellow Sun could be that key. He is the fastest on track on those medium tyres, which he only just pitted for, so he's going to be accelerating his way through the field. So, as we said last lap, Herman, can he find a way past on this lap? He's going to go through Maggots and Beckett's over 0.7 of a second. He really needs to be careful how far he lets the Racing Bulls go. Can he just gain some time through here? Yes, he can. Into the next DRS zone he go. Mr. Welter very wide there, but hasn't made a difference. Luca, I'm worried here. Like, Herman's in very real danger. If he loses another position, that's then what is a 14-point deficit, and then Rush the Siri is in championship contention. What is going through your mind in that kind of situation?
if I'm Herman, I really need to look out what position I will come out after that second stop. Of course, Russia Series also on a two-stop strategy. There's 4 cars currently. Oh, there's a spin. That's a kick sober of Energetic, and that is one position gained by Herman. That's already good to see. There won't be a safety car, hopefully. That seems to be a good recovery by the kick sober. But for Herman, he needs to look where he comes out after that second stop. Russia Series being on the same strategy will kind of help that out as well. Obviously, there are 4 cars out on the one-stop strategy. There's Andy, Andre, and I believe 3 other cars. Of course, we'll see soon again who those cars are. But I also want to point out Andy, Andre being on the same strategy as fellow Sun, just seeing how well that medium start was in compared to the hard start. That is incredible. And oh, that's the full wing gone there by Energetic. That is the second incident that might have happened.
No, that was just him slowing down, so don't worry about that. He was just trying to be nice and get through the corner without impeding anybody. So at the moment there, that's all kind of sorting itself out, but 9 laps to go. Herman gaining a position from that, and that relieves more pressure, because that is now a 12-point deficit, so that means now the title goes back to Herman after that, and yeah, 1 position making all the difference. And now surely Herman begins to worry about fellow Sun, because I'm not sure how it's going to go down when we get to even points. Of course, I did say I would look into that for you, but at the moment now it is crunch time. 8 laps to go as now Andy comes across the line. Well, he has driven his heart out tonight, but it won't be enough if Russia Siri keeps that second place. But of course, remember, there might be a second stop still to come. It is oh so tight here, and we just don't know how this is going to play out. There's still surely one thing to happen, and well, he's still been on the back of Mr. Welter here, but he's just not quite done enough to get past him. And well, now fellow Sun is starting to get onto the back of this battle. Here we go through the next DRS zone. We're going to go down the Wellington Straight for the 19th time tonight. Bavish and Salvi into the pits, of course, but here we go. Can fellow Sun make a move? Going into Brooklands, not close enough. The DRS chain is being created, and now we sit and wait for something to happen. Luca, this has been a really good race so far, and we still don't know where this is going to go in the final few laps.
This is absolutely beautiful to see as well. So much strategy play to come as well. I'm expecting this lap to see first drivers to jump in for the undercut. Obviously, it is possible to see also next lap some overtaking to do. But it is absolutely crucial to go as strong as you can on that first stint on the hard compounds as hard as you can. And it did seem that Energetic was just a bit too over pushing those hards. That's possible in the final corner. Absolutely grip there leaves, but that's fellow Sun. Another overtake on those medium compounds. He can take it for now, but he needs to be careful. Don't over push the mediums. You are on a good strategy now. You don't want to be in a danger zone. As for the drivers on the MFD, around 80% tire wear is the danger zone for a puncture. And fellow Sun, with this pushing, he needs to be careful he doesn't enter that, as if from then on, each percentage increases the danger for a puncture.
The zone will be one of danger. I hope somebody understands that reference from a certain TV show. But as we continue on, no disrespect to Luca at all. He is absolutely right in his analysis of the racing he is looking at so far. And now, well, fellow Sun is about to make another move, surely sooner rather than later. He's even improving on his personal best through there, nearly a 10th up on all of that. And at the moment, Russia Siri, well, just to keep you updated on where the champion select are, Herman has done enough to win the championship, but this is the thorn in his side at the moment, which could throw it all pear-shaped for the German driver. Fellow Sun, the Hungarian, in his final race of F1 25, is looking to go out on a bang. He doesn't want to go out quietly. He doesn't want to play to the script of SSRL. He wants to play to his own cinematic occasion. He started in 12th place in qualifying, but has made up the progress by going on a one-stop strategy. It's, oh my goodness me, we've just seen the McLaren go way off, and nearly an unsafe rejoin there, Luca.
That was a rejoin there that we don't want to see again. That's side by side between Russia and Bart. The Ferrari needs to keep that P2. It is crucial. Fellow Sun could be just the ace up Russia Series sleeve to get the championship. It is possible, and I'm saying here very much with a asterisk, it is possible that the lap 9 pitters, as Arno pointed out, can go with a one stop. They are going to be deep in that danger zone, as I just said one lap before. It is very much possible that the hard compounds can make it, but you need to be, as a driver, most careful, which gives fellow son an absolute advantage here, because he doesn't have to be as careful as all the hard compounds.
Absolutely, but there is still an element of danger, and he still needs to do some looking after. Remember, he's in this dirty air, but look at this. The medium compounds are in effect. Babish takes the fastest lap of the race. That doesn't do good for Andy Andre's chances at the championship here, but it doesn't really matter. He did all he needed to do, but Rush the Siri on that strategy up to second place. That's nullified any sort of drive that Andy can do. Fallow sort of a bit wide there as he goes through Cop's corner, now through Meggets and Beckett's. What does he decide to do? Does he decide to say, you know what, I've had enough? But I don't think he will. That Hungarian is going to be rather aggressive coming out of Chapel. Here we go. Herman's championship hangs in the balance on this DRS straight. Will he make the move? Herman does go defensive. Fellow Son attacks round the outside of Stowe. This is for the championship, and the chapter changes again. Does Race Chase decide to do anything? No, not close enough, but Fellow Son through, and now has only got Mr. Welts to go, and now Herman needs to take some sort of advantage. If Fellow Son gets alongside Mr. Welter, Herman needs to be right there and lick the stamp and basically send it to be better safe than sorry, Luca.
That was absolutely beautiful by the Red Bull, using everything in his power to use the medium tires traction to the outside there. It was beautiful. He has planned it from the start of the straight, and now it is just all and done. He has one car ahead. No DS advantage, no DS help by Mr. Wada up in front. So fellow Son, he just has to use the mediums, and he definitely has no trouble with them. For about 5 more laps, he can definitely bring him back. He doesn't have any more brick walls to jump. Those mediums, he can pretty much nurse him home now.
Okay, so just in case this goes down to even points, Rush the Siri, I believe, will get the win because he has more wins than Herman over the season. And I think that is who will be champions-elect. Energetic gets a 3-second penalty for track limit violations. That matters very little. He's down in 15th. Sir Ribbo, nearly a minute behind that driver. But at the moment now, advantage Rush the Siri. Yellow flag there for being lapped as we have another yellow flag, but Barish is facing the wrong way round and is missing his front wing, and that could be what Herman needs if there's a safety car, but nothing called, and we continue on as we were. Herman's look is starting to run out, and no front wing at all for Bavish there, so his race is done, and that really does summarize how his season has been. And now, well, let's see. Bards now is under attack from Quincy, but we've had another yellow flag there, but that is still for the car we've just witnessed have an accident. And now, Bards is under pressure. The main league admin is about to take a podium in D1 if he is lucky. Quincy to the outside in Brooklands. Here we go. He actually had the better cornering speed there in the middle of it. Does he have the outside advantage? Going through Loftfield. They're going to go side by side down the old start-finish straight. Oh, my goodness me. Quincy, this is amazing. And there he is, up into P3. And does he think about having a go at Rush the Siri? Well, he's over a second going into the next DRS zone, but it's all kicking off here as we go into the final 4 laps here for the final time as Babish does retire. We have another yellow flag. Who is that for? Energetic, but he's off the grass. Luca, this is going to be an exciting finale.
This is absolutely incredible. I'm also looking at the second mistakes of Truckster. He had it a little bit behind of the little group in front, but he's lost heaps of time. And Race Chase can be the final brick in the wall to really ruin Herman's last chances. If Herman loses that 1 second to Mr. Wilder, which he is absolutely on the brink of here, he's currently just gone 1 second up. Race Chase has the chance to ruin the final hopes of Herman the German. And it is, as a German myself, it is kind of heart aching to see that. But it is absolutely beautiful to go to the final lap of the race. This is an absolutely beautiful finale, and I can't wait to see how it goes.
Oh, no!
He's made a mistake! That isn't crazy! No way! I'm so sorry, but this is not for his sake!
Oh my goodness me! And now Herman has just been handed a lifeline from the racing gods. And now Rush the Siri in 4th place. Wait a minute! Another chapter has been turned. Race Chase goes past Herman the German. And all of a sudden now, this is kicking off. Energetic has just crashed out. Do we get anything? No, because we've just seen Quincy and Barnes go side by side. Rush the Siri under serious pressure. He knows now that this championship is in the balance. We have 2 laps to go at the line. What a finale. What a championship. What a final season for me to commentate on. This has been cinematic, and now Quincy is going defensive as we go into the final laps. There's fellow Son in the background of all of this as Barnes goes to 2nd. But remember, Barnes has a post-race 3-second penalty, so that P2 will not stay. So now, for Rush the Siri, it is oh so important he gets past Quincy at the earliest opportunity. 2 laps to go, Luca. Where is this going, man?
It will be absolutely crucial sprint race. No more safety cars from this point on. With 2 laps to the end, Rush the Siri is absolutely jumping that Bart's got Quincy because he will get him due to the penalties. And now Quincy's the car in front. But Rush the Siri has all the cars to bring it back to the P2 position. He just lost here around this corner. He can still do it, but Verstappen is now his brick in the wall. If he can get past Quincy here, if Quincy loses too much time fighting Bart, this is all on Rush's side, on the series side. But this all comes down to what the Williams now does.
Well, we have been treated to an absolute occasion here that could only be produced by the Silly Season Racing League. Quincy now has brought in realistic performance, but here we go! Rush the Siri down the inside of Cops, and there's contact between the Red Bull and the Ferrari. Verstappen now might look at an opportunity, but Rush the Series Championship is slipping away. Remember, P3 would not be enough with Herman P9. Well, Herman scores 7. P3 is 17 points. Herman is champion at the end of this with a race that Herman will probably be unhappy with. But either way, it will be the race that gets it done. Barnes is still there. We are going to have one final lap. Where is this going? It is now only, what is it, the miles? It is 3.6 miles to decide everything on the final lap. Andy has put in a valiant effort. The 5-time champion might be given his championship, but to who? We still don't know. Is it going to be Rush? Is it going to be Herman? Well, there's only one way to find out. Let's go racing for one last lap in Silverstone. And my heart is pumping. The emotions are pouring. And it is all coming down to what is, it only can be said, a cinematic finale here at the British home of motorsport. Now into the Brooklands corner. It is currently 4th place for Rush. It's not enough for the championship as of right now. He still needs to try and get past Barr to get past Quincy, but he's losing time as the lap comes to its close. We are now down the old start finish straight. I think Rush the Siri has given up the ghost, and he got oh so close the last time he was in championship contention. Season 3, everyone remembers that controversial moment that ended that, which gave Andy the title that season. Rush the Siri going deep on the brakes into turn 1, knocking Herman out of the championship, literally and figuratively. But now he is going to be knocked out of the championship for his own mistake. Andy wins. That was kind of a given from the earliest point, and he gave it everything. But Chuckster has just overtaken Herman. What does this mean now? We have only an 11-point gap. It's not enough. It's not enough, guys. Quincy is going to come home P2. Rush the Siri. Oh, my goodness me. Verstappen trying to go down the inside there at the final corner. Fellow Son got 4th place there. What an ending as Herman gets P9. Is it enough? Yes, it is. Herman is champion of Season 7 in SSRL. It wasn't the best race, but it is the race that he needed. And well, how about we just let the race do the talking there? What a finale. Andy tried everything he could, but it just wasn't enough. He needed things to go his way, which was always going to be unlikely. We know he can bring things back from when things are dire, but his 5-in-a-row championship run is over 6 times is denied in Division 1, but let's give it up. He really did give it until the final possible race. Only he could take it to the last lap. And, well, Andy, it has been an absolute pleasure to commentate over you, my guy. And, well, there's not really much more we can say, is there? An epic race from Andy. We didn't focus on him all that much. He really just did nothing wrong. But Herman there will be just thankful that that race is over. But the Season 1 champion is back with his second title. What a race that was. And SSRL brings home an excellent finale. Let's let the podium do the talking as Andy Andre is top in the step. Your accolades coming out of that. Fastest lap went to Moksha in the end. Driver of the day, fellow son, obviously. Most overtakes, fellow son. Andy Andre, cleanest driver. Your unofficial results. Andy Andre, Quincy and Rush the Siri round out your top 3. 4th and 5th is fellow son and Router, respectively. Verstappen, Bards, Race Chase, Herman and Trugster round out your top 10. 11th to 15th is Tark and Gino, Moksha, Salvi, Sir Ibo and Energetic, with Bavish also not finishing. But out of that, Herman the German is champion of Season 7. His second championship for SSRL. He had to compete with Andy and play second fiddle for the longest time. Season 3 and Season 4. He got oh so close. And after so much happening for him outside of the league, it feels appropriate that he comes home as the returning champion. Luca, thank you so much for being with me, and of course I look forward to having you. I can't have you here, unfortunately. You'll be all on your own, but thank you so much. Just any final words from you before I start into the podium interviews?
I'm gutted that this is the end of an era, but I'm happy that it happened. Thank you for the ending and this amazing race to end the championship tonight. That was absolutely beautiful. Thank you for having me here, and I hope I can carry the flame over.
Yeah, I promise you will. He will still continue to tell SSRL's story long after I'm gone. Luca, go enjoy your evening. I've got it from here. Thank you, though, and we'll see you in the new year.
Take care.
Take care. Wow, that was quite a race to end that one out. I'm not going to go on too much about pro race analysis. We'll have time for that a bit later on. Let's go and start by saying, Herman the German, you are champion of Season 7. It might not have been the prettiest race, but it was, in the end, what you needed. Herman, second time championship, and it was 6 seasons coming.
Yeah, that was quite an eventful race in the sense that it was on the edge all the time. I'm honestly a bit lost for words how bad the setup was. I was talking throughout the second stint, and I was very low in wings and couldn't really keep up. So yeah, I'm glad I got the most of the parts inside of the season basically done to have such a let's say bad race at the end, because I was basically nowhere. But I'm very happy that it finally happened again. Would have been in SSRL style if I didn't win it once again. But thanks to Rush and Andy for making it so intense as usual. This is why I think everyone here who was also not involved in the championship loves to race. So let me just say that I'm very deep in thoughts to my father, and I would like to dedicate this title to him. I lost him earlier in the year, and now in Christmas time, that is a very difficult time, and I'm very glad that I could pull through on what was sometimes very troubling races where, as I said before, and I'm sorry to the guys who were affected by this, didn't have the best over my temper. So yeah, I'm very glad that this has happened once again after that very fun first season. I was well, barely any of the top guys were there at the time, and obviously everyone has involved massively over the time. So this never comes easy in a field like this. So hats off to Andy. You're the guy to beat anyway. Still, I'm just a bit lucky that I have one more race, and obviously didn't have a DNF like he had, and obviously Rush's crash late in Vegas helped also because that was I was on the back foot most of the time, and although the races were fed, I was very competitive. Didn't go to plan because of me not being able to fully concentrate at times and doing silly mistakes. And today was very close to that as well. At early two warnings, and I'm glad I didn't miss on the undercut like I did in Brazil. So hats off to Rush, hats off to Andy, and obviously I think that was a very very valuable send off to you as well. Looking forward to tomorrow night, but I think one of the 3 finales I've been in that is worthy of the other 2 as well. So I'm just over the moon. I haven't realized it probably yet, but I will tomorrow. But tough fight throughout the season, and I'm looking forward to some days off now.
And well, of course, you said you dedicated that one to your father, and it was a beautiful tribute. And I'm I'm gonna try my best just to keep myself in check, just because there's still one more commentary to come, and that's obviously gonna be the final one. But was there any points in the season where you were like, I'm just not sure if I can do it, and how did you get past those moments of doubt?
Yeah, the Rush will also accommodate for this. I was messaging him that I felt like I was done for the season, especially after one, I don't know, Imola maybe, not sure, one of the races around the midway point, and I did feel like I wanted to continue, and there was just very tough road to climb. I couldn't get the hang of the full weight qualifying throughout the season, and there was so much work. I just couldn't find the switch to turn it around, and I'm glad that Qatar and especially Abu Dhabi dry quali seem to be good. So whatever it takes to release more of that fear from what was 24, where I felt more comfortable and could get into my zone way more easier. So I'm not so sure how the season would have gotten around to us to this finale if, like, for example, let's say after tough races where especially at the start I couldn't get the hang of it, and took me some time to adjust at the start as well when the game dropped. So still lots to learn for next season, and I'm convinced that my approach so far, especially after such dominant stints by Andy, has been like more on the lighter side, but somehow I still find the consistency over these guys to be there from time to time. And this season has been all over the place. Like, if you know me, I don't like Miami. I really hate Mexico, and I somehow win these 2 races, and that is what brings me back. And obviously, Andy takes the most wins, is still not the champion. I feel like I did a Lando Norris here. Also, 0 poles winning the championship is quite interesting. So whatever happened here, I think the stars aligned, and someone special, as I said before. I was watching from above, and at times I was just in the right place to benefit from stuff. So I could say that, for example, if I don't have a shitty race like Baku, then I could have maybe have had more points there. And obviously Qatar 10 seconds speeding in the pits so late in the season obviously made me go down more positions than my pace suggested in that race, because that wasn't too bad, for example. So tough road. Consistency once again is key, and I'm just happy that this time it wasn't lost on neither the penultimate nor the final lap. So some improvement, I would say.
Absolutely. Herman, congratulations. You are Season 7 Division 1 champion. It feels quite right that I send out on that one. Herman, go enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you very much. See you tomorrow.
Bye-bye. All right, well, we're now going to move on to our top 3, and after all of that, Andy, congratulations on the win. It felt like you did everything you needed to do. You got the lead early on in the race, but Rustasiri and Herman were just too far up the field for you to do anything. You said yourself it was a bit of an outside chance, but yet you still came in. No practice at all, and you took that race win like it was no one's business. How are you feeling after all of that?
A lot of feelings, to be honest. A lot of positive things to take after today. Don't know where to start. Really, so many to go through. I think it's best to start with congratulating Herman. He got back the championship that was taken away from him. So congratulations for his consistency and getting points week after week. And yeah, in the end, the winner is the one with the highest points, and he did the best job this season. So hats off to him. A bit sad that I have to share the multiple champion title. It was funny. It was. I mean, I enjoyed having it. Now I'm sharing it with Herman. So yeah, looking forward to many races in the future. And regarding today, it was a decent track for me. I enjoy Silverstone. I think I did a pretty good job. Obviously, I messed up the qualifying lap pretty bad, but luckily it didn't put me too far back in the midfield, so I didn't get tangled into too many fights throughout. I had an interesting battle with Quincy in the first laps. Congratulations to him also for the pole and for the pace he showed in the beginning of the race. Really enjoyable one. And also to Rush for making his way back to the podium. And yeah, just not much to add. Honestly, just a big thank you to yourself.
Alright, and of course, was the one stop always on there? Of course, you went the longest on the medium, went on the one stop, and then, well, you just kind of sailed off into the distance, as I've already said. Or did you even think about the two stop before going into tonight?
No, I didn't. Honestly, I didn't remember any race this season in which the two stop worked best. It was pretty much a one stop season in this game. So yeah, strategy was pretty straightforward. Of course, you're always judging the risk of going early for an undercut or to protect against an undercut, or staying late in case of a safety car. But luckily, we had no incidents of the sort, and the strategy was pretty straightforward.
And of course, well, I just kind of want to say a final congratulations from myself on getting married earlier this year. Of course, that was kind of a big kind of, I don't want to say like, anything negative, but that was certainly a big reason as to why you were so far behind in the championship going into tonight. For season 9, do you think that sixth title is going to be... Sorry, season 8, beg your pardon. Will that sixth title be yours, or do you think the competition's going to be very stiff?
Of course, we can always point to reasons why I wasn't higher up. I think all of us can. On the top on my mind are Mexico, as you mentioned, and Brazil, especially that disqualification. Also, the Singapore DNF didn't help. But yeah, that's racing. Incidents happen, and in the end, the winner is the one with the most points, as I said earlier. So, congratulations to Herman again. Regarding my performance, I'm pretty happy. I think I showed a good pace through the season, and I'm confident for the next one if the grid stays pretty similar. I think I'll be up there.
All right. Andy, it was an absolute pleasure to commentate over your final win, although it wasn't really the spotlight for tonight. Congratulations again, Andy.
Thank you. I'm sorry I didn't have a speech prepared, but yeah, it would have been a good occasion. I really enjoyed watching the streams. It's really the highlight of the week. Yeah, some amazing moments that we have now that I'll be able to watch forever. And yeah, a big thank you for that, and hope to see you again in the future.
I hope so too. Andy, thank you for taking my questions. Enjoy the rest of your evening. We hope to see you in chat tomorrow night.
Thank you. I'll be there.
All right. Bye-bye for now.
Good night. Bye bye.
We go to our second place runner here, of course, in competition for the title tomorrow. He feels he is out of it, but Quincy got P2 tonight, and well, congratulations, Quincy, on your P2. That wasn't really becoming apparent until the final few laps, but you had a great first stint, which kept you in there, and then the second stint, it all came together at the last, but only thanks to Rush the Series' little mistake going through Village within the final few laps. How do you describe that? Oh no. I'm sorry guys, I've just got a message. Oh no. I hate oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And I just want to tell you why Quincy is quiet. I don't quite know if I've miscalculated.
Right, I've been muted. I'm very sorry, I've been muted. I've got some heart-wrenching news. Apologies to everyone. I did put in the penalties last week that because of my incident with Andrew, I sustained a penalty that was carried forward to today. So I did not, in fact, finish P2. And that does mean that the champion isn't Herman, unfortunately. I'm so sorry. But
Maybe Bart gets his penalty away too, because I think he got his cut when we were side by side in Cops. I don't
well,
know
we'll
if
have
it's
to
that
take that
case.
to the stewards, I guess. But
Yeah.
as it currently stands, you have exactly the same amount of points as a tie, which obviously he would then go to wins and podiums. So unofficially, the championship is tied with Rush having more wins. That would make him the champion. Due to my penalty, I've been pushed down to 6th place. So I really shouldn't even be here talking to you guys. So apologies for that. I had a good race. I didn't expect the pole position. I didn't do any practice at all, but as Dave knows, Silverstone is one of my favorite tracks. And the wet weather just kind of seemed to float. I was just out there doing laps and just trying to find where the grip was. And I wasn't even really pushing. So I was surprised at the pole. I thought I would battle Andy as much as I can to see if I could sort of improve on my racecraft, because I'm planning to go to Division 1 next season. And yeah, sorry for the way it's all ended in controversy yet again, unfortunately.
Oops. Yep. Oh dear. Okay. Aye. That's damn. Yeah, there was already enough motions flowing through me, Quincy, and then that happened. Damn. Okay, we continue on. So obviously, like, you know, it was what about the strategy from you? Was it always a one stop, or did you ever think about the two stop at all?
It was always going to be the one stop. Silverstone's track is the pit lane is too slow, and it's obviously quite a long straight, so people are carrying a lot of speed. So with the pit limiter being as slow as it is, it's not wise to do a two-stop. You can never really make up the time in such small laps. So it was always going to be a one-stop. I've obviously had races here before as well, last season, season 6, where I won versus Snake, where the one-stop was on as well. So nothing's really changed since then. So it was always going to be the one-stop, and yeah, that's just the way that cookie crumbles.
Just to kind of bring this into the equation, well, what happened was Quincy got post-race penalties for collisions causing a significant time loss for Andrew. And because of the points penalty threshold, he got a total of 11 seconds post-race penalty to serve, just for those that were not aware, apparently myself included. Unfortunately about that, my apologies there for not informing you correctly. But yeah, no, that sort of kind of puts a sting in things for Herman's celebrations, unfortunately. Anyway, well, we'll go on to Rush the Series in just the next few moments, but Quincy, either way, it's been an absolute pleasure to be commentating over your league in Division 1. Thank you so much for having me over these seasons. I'll see you for one last time tomorrow.
See you later tomorrow.
All right, bye for now. Rest of the series, well, with that news we've just found out, well, you're now world champion. Of course, more wins than Herman are now on even points, and thanks to Quincy's post-race penalties, that means you and Herman on even points, and obviously, with more wins, you are champion. Rest of the series, how does that feel now? We've kind of had a rather emotional final interview here for Division 1.
I don't know what to say right now because I'm a bit stunned because I was like pretty comfortable with Herman being champion right now. Even like when he was celebrating, I thought, yeah, man, this is just the right thing to happen. It's now oh yeah, well, in my eyes right now we're kind of co-champs or something. I don't know, but yeah, I just another chapter of SSRL, right? Like,
That's
we're
one way to
used
put it.
Yeah, right.
It's
Like,
one
crazy stuff always happens here, man, and I think that's one of the main reasons we are all here. And I think this was one of the high points of crazy in SSRL. So what can I say? Regarding the race, I did almost everything right, I felt like. I just messed up quali and I messed up lap 24. Everything else was super under control. I did what I had to do. I pulled off the undercut. I went for the moves when I had to. I defended when I had to. I was saving tires because I knew it's going to be marginal. And I knew from the beginning, okay, Andy is gone by the time I maybe reached the podium or something. And so I was just pushing hard to get this position and then just try to save tires and keep those guys behind me. So I wasn't even looking at the gap to Andy. And then in lap 24, just the tires dropped just another step, and I wasn't ready for that. And when you get on the outside of turn 4, it's just like ice. Like it felt like and I don't know which year it was when all those guys in Hockenheim went out on that wet patch. And it felt like that. Like I had to go really slow, just keep it straight, and yeah. Other than that, yeah, I'm stunned. I'm out of words. I can just thank Herman and all the other guys, but especially Herman for this season of racing. Like especially in this race, we raced really nicely again. We had a bit of contact, but I think we always had respect and space left for each other. And yeah, thank you to you, Dave, for for like taking care of us while all this craziness is happening. some to keep his mind straight, and it's always you. So thank you for always being there and giving us the excitement and the memories. that we can just like keep forever, just because of you, because you catch those moments. That's a really big gift from you. So thank you for that. Yeah, I'm out of words right now. I don't know how I would have felt if we had known from the beginning. But right now, I'm like, this is just SSRL craziness, and I always had a love-hate relationship with the SSRL craziness. But how can you how can you withstand? How can you not fall to the charm of this league?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I will be honest. I think honestly, I was notified by Quincy and I saw it. It just didn't go in my notes for some reason because there was just so much going on in my head, and it was just unfortunately one of those things that did slip out. So let's not blame Quincy here. Do blame me here.
Let's blame Quincy always, man. He's the league owner. Let's blame fucking Quincy. This was your last race. You didn't do anything wrong, man. You gave us
I
all the
was
excitement
informed.
and
I was
entertainment.
informed. Don't
You
go
don't
shoot the
hey,
admin.
no. No fault from Dave. I just want everyone to know Quincy's fault. Go blame Quincy. All right. That's from the that's all from me.
Honestly, with Quincy not saying anything, I think he's even a little emotional as well. So, nah, it's all right. No, I take responsibility for that one. He did inform me correctly. He's.
We have a development.
Huh?
We have a development.
Huh?
We have a development.
What?
We have a development.
What?
Okay.
God, SSRL keep.
Rush is not the champion.
Yeah, fucking hell.
Herman is the champion by 1 point. Verstappen had a penalty. He had a 9-second penalty. He had a 9-second penalty. I've just redone the standings.
Oh my God! Thank
Herman is
God.
now the champion.
Thank fucking God.
Rush, I'm
okay.
so
Thank
sorry.
goodness.
This is such a
Thank
joke.
God, man.
This is a
Really,
joke
man.
at this point.
What is this?
I'm so
What
sorry,
kind of
guys.
This
I'm
is
so
crazy.
sorry. Herman wins the
You're gonna
championship
pay
by
for
1
my
point.
therapy. You are gonna pay for my therapy. I fucking
I'm
hate
so
this.
sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I really am. I'm so sorry. I did inform Dave. I really did. I
right.
gave him all of the penalties. I gave him all of the penalties.
Rush
So
just left.
I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry.
No, it's
All right,
not
I'm signing
Quincy's
off.
fault.
It's even in the
signing off.
screenshot. I see it as well now. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
I'm so sorry. Oh my goodness.
Anyway, I'm deep into the alcohol. Cheers to everyone.
Oh my god. I apologize. Oh my god. What a way to end, eh, Dave? What a way to end. Controversy till the end.
Right.
My goodness.
Right. Okay, so Herman is champion, so everything we just said is completely irrelevant for the last 5 minutes. Rush the Siri has gone away. I think he's going to go into his alcohol cabinet now. But I think because this is the end of Division 1, I just want to say, because this is the original division that I started with Season 3, this is a continuation of what was a Tuesday League. My thanks go out to Quincy, in all honesty, because I was at such a low point with commentary when he actually messaged me to bring me on board, because I'd just come off of a league, had a payment dispute with them. I won't go into the details of that because that's obviously private. But Quincy then said, yo, come on this league, we'll get you going. And, you know, we started with Tuesdays with these very drivers that sit before me right now. And, well, it kind of went from strength to strength from there. And for the 5 seasons that I have done with this league, it has been my biggest pleasure. It's not over just yet. There is one more to come tomorrow. But I owe Quincy everything in these 5 seasons. I would not be the commentator I am without him and his feedback going from week to week. And for just being a damn good admin and a damn good owner of a damn good league, I'm really going to miss this. I really am. I can't say how thankful I am. I owe everything to this league. So there we go. That's my goodbye to Division 1. We'll, of course, have more words for tomorrow night. Of course, Herman will be here with me in the commentary box as champion. Promise you that. But, yeah. No, thank you, SSRL, and we'll take it out on a big one tomorrow night. 3 drivers in that championship, but Quincy, my biggest thanks go out to you especially. Thank you so much. All right.
You are very much welcome, Dave. Thank you, and I'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Bye-bye for now. It could only end one way, couldn't it? Could only end one way. It could only end with that. But Herman is indeed champion. Verstappen had a 9-second penalty to serve at the end of all of that. So that means Herman is indeed champion. And that confirms that by a singular point as well to rush the series. So I don't know, man. I'm not really going to stay on too much longer, to be honest with you, as we'll have more racing to come tomorrow night. Let's have a look and just see where we're going. Well, it's going to be a mystery Grand Prix as it was tonight. Guys, I'm running out of words. I really can't say much more. But for Division 1, that is season 7 all said and done. Tomorrow, it is Division 1 for one last time. Herman will share the commentary box with me, but of course, your co-commentator for tonight was Luca Centorbi, and I have to say a massive thank you to him for taking on the comms. He did such an amazing job, and he's going to be your commentator going forward into Season 8. If I don't see you tomorrow, for whatever reason, I just want to say a massive thank you for watching along with if you've been here since Season 3, or have been here for maybe just this season, or seasons come prior. It's been amazing to have you along for this journey. But, hope to see you tomorrow, but if I don't, from myself and everybody at SSRL, we thank you so much for watching. We wish you a very good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. Stay safe, stay alive, look after your mental health, and from the viewers and myself to SSRL, big thanks to their owner, their admins, their stewards, their drivers, for the weekly shows they put on week to week. One more to go tomorrow, as I keep saying, but tonight, it's goodbye to Division 1. Bye-bye for now.